Good morning. Good to see you this morning. I am Reverend Peter Faraday. I am UUCPA's interim minister for the next 2 years. My pronouns are he, him. And whatever your sexual orientation, gender identity, ethnicity, family makeup, etc., you are more than welcome here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto. May you find nourishment and inspiration for your journey. We express our mutual respect by supporting each other's decisions about masking and other health measures. If you would like a mask this morning and don't have one, please raise your hand and we will find you one. If you're new to us, please know that during the service we use joys and concerns or caring and sharing cards, which are both available at that front table and the side table to express anything that's on our hearts this morning with others. If you'd care to do that, there's still time to do that while we have a couple of pre-service announcements. The only one that I will present today is actually at another time and place, which is this evening at the First Congregational Church of Palo Alto. There is a free screening of the film There Is Another Way, a documentary about Israelis and Palestinians working together for peace. The screening will be followed by a virtual discussion with filmmaker Stephen Apcon. Again, that's at the First Congregational Church of Palo Alto at 5 p.m. It is free, and as always, donations are welcome. And I also wanted to just say that we have a couple other introductions or announcements today, but they're going to be done by other people. And the first one is our Minister of Religious Education, Reverend Kat Boyle.
Good morning. I just have a quick question. Who went to Susan and Matt's Welcoming Congregation's wonderful class last September? Did anybody go? Raise your hand. Did anybody really wish that they could make it and didn't get a chance to? Everybody's hands go up. I am doing the sequel to that class. We are going to go into microaggressions and have a little more opportunity to role play. If you didn't have a chance to come to that class last September, that's okay. We'll catch you up real fast. So that'll be in the fireside after service. So I hope to see you there. And now we have Lisa and Randy with some words about the upcoming auction, November 15th.
Hey, Randy. Do you know what's coming up in 2 weeks?
Can you say that again, Miss Hellmans?
Hey, Randy, do you know what's coming up in the next 2 weeks?
I have to clean the garage?
No.
The office?
No, silly. It's the annual auction.
Awesome. Now we don't have to clean the garage or the office.
Oh, yes, you do. But that can wait until after the auction. We only have less than 2 weeks left before our favorite party of the year. It's going to be on November 15th, 5:30 to 9, as you've seen all over the campus and in your literature.
For entertainment, we have live music with Seascape Sounds, of course, the awesome Balloon Lady, the children's auction, tasty treats, and lots of things to bid on.
Yeah, donations are continuing to come in, but we still need more. We have a lot of good things to eat, great parties that give us a lot of joy throughout the year. So please continue to bid. We have 2 more weeks, and if you bid online, that would be great. If you need help, just contact the auction committee. Auction committee at UUC or whatever the link is. I don't have it committed to memory, but yeah, just contact us and we'll help you get it put online.
Also, we will need your help to make this party fun for all ages. Please sign up at the volunteer online or at the auction table right out there. We've incentivized with Halloween candy.
We hope to see you there.
We'll see you there. Thanks.
Right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Randy and Lisa, and everyone else involved in that fun party. Again, that's the 15th of November in the evening, and you can get more information online. And one other thing today, I want to urge you to really look over your order of service at the events listed for today, this week, and next week. I realize most of us already have very full lives, But if you want to connect to this community, you'll see reading and writing groups, singing, meditation, a film discussion, a community service project this Saturday, social and environmental action groups. So there is no dearth of options. And I know it's easy to just take that piece of paper and kind of blank out on it and not really look, but I urge you to look, because if you really want to connect, please, the other thing I want to say is that some things are kind of shorter term anyway, or one-time events, but if there's something that's more ongoing, you don't have to feel committed just because you want to check it out. Go once or twice and see how it feels for you, and if it works, terrific, and if it doesn't, that's okay. So thank you very much for just paying attention to that. And finally, a word about today's service. The kid-centered holiday of Halloween, which I'm belatedly honoring with my lone piece of orange clothing, is a secular descendant of a major pagan festival, Samhain, aka All Hallows Eve, when it's said that the veil between the earthly realm and the spirit realm is thinnest. Also in some Christian traditions, this is the time of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, and the annual observance of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, has roots in Mexican Catholicism, but has come to be celebrated in many other cultures. All of these share the theme of remembering, mourning, and honoring those who have lived and died before us. Today we join in this autumnal spirit, recalling that although our personal losses sometimes cause intense sorrow, in coming together we recognize that we are not alone in our pain, nor in celebrating our loved ones' legacies. If you saw the service description online, you know you were invited to bring photographs or mementos. If you brought any but haven't yet placed them on the remembrance tables, you're welcome to do so during the prelude. Or if you're online, you could gather those then. Meanwhile, we give thanks for each day we are alive. In that spirit, I now invite you to center yourself in your chair. Take a couple of deep breaths. You may want to lower your gaze or close your eyes. Let your forehead relax, shoulders drop, your abdomen soften. Let any mental chatter subside. Breathe again into your belly. Feel the breath of life in you and in your neighbors, knowing that it will not always be so for us. And as mindfulness practice advises, be totally present to this moment. We gather, our different paths entwined to deepen our spiritual lives, nourishing connection, learning from each other, caring for each other, tending to our world. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, we allow ourselves to arrive here fully. Welcome.
I'm not certain about the afterlife of the soul. Happily, I'm certain about the afterlife of the body. The minerals in my bones and flesh have passed from volcanic rock to seawater, to shells, to sedimentary rocks, to soil, to grass, to buffalo, to wolves, to grass, to dairy cows, to me. I hope and intend to return these minerals to their great source when I am no longer using them. When I'm done with love and toil, these bones gonna rise again. Lay my body in the soil, these bones gonna rise again. Old Mother Earth, she knows us, we are her own. Life and death and life returning, these bones gonna rise again. Blood and water, rock and bone, these bones gonna rise again. Breath and spirit are her own, these bones gonna rise again. Old Mother Earth, she knows us, we are her own. Life and death and life returning, these bones gonna rise again. In the ground I will decay, these bones gonna rise again. Rise again some bright spring day, these bones gonna rise again. Old Mother Earth, she knows us, we are her own. Life and death and life returning, these bones gonna rise again. Rise as grass and rise as tree, these bones gonna rise again. Worm and chipmunk, bird and bee, these bones gonna rise again. Old Mother Earth, she knows us, we are her own. Life and death and life returning, these bones gonna rise again. When I'm done with love and toil, these bones gonna rise again. Lay my body in the soil, these bones gonna rise again. Old Mother Earth, she knows us, we are her own. Life and death and life returning, these bones gonna rise again. These bones gonna rise again.
Thank you, thank you. Each Sunday, Unitarian Universalist congregations light a chalice, the symbol of our UU faith. Today's accompanying words are by Reverend Robert T. Weston and appear as reading 538 in our gray hymnal. Autumn, we know, is life en route to death. The asters are but harbingers of frost. The trees, flaunting their colors at the sky, in other times will follow where the leaves have fallen, and so shall we. Yet other lives will come, so may we know, accept, embrace the mystery of life we hold a while, nor mourn that it outgrows each separate self, but still rejoice that we may have our day. Lift high our colors to the sky, and give, in our time, fresh glory to the earth. If you just arrived and have an item for the remembrance tables, you can place them there now as we sing hymn number 389, Gathered Here. We'll sing it 3 times, and when we reach the end, we'll repeat the closing Spirit Draw Near 2 more times. If you can watch me for a cue if you like. So please rise in body or in spirit. The lyrics are on screen and in the online order of service and the gray hymnal.
I think no matter how young or how old you are, losing someone is difficult and it's hard. So I'm going to tell a story today. It's called The Memory Box. And it's a story about how we can remember somebody that we lost, that we loved greatly, and seeing all these pictures and all these objects on the altar in front of me. This is a kind of a story of how you can kind of choose a sacred object or make a sacred object to remember somebody with. And so this story is called The Memory Box. It's by Joanna Rowland. I lost my balloon once. I tried so hard to hold on tight, to never let go. But it was windy, and I was running. I watched it fly higher than the trees, high above the clouds, past where I couldn't see. I was sad. But not as sad as I am now. I can always get another balloon, but I can never have another you. I miss you. Sometimes I wonder, what happens to your love now that you're gone? Did it die too? Because I'm scared I'll forget you. Sometimes I wish I could still give you a hug. I would hug you so tight, and a great big bear hug, and never let go. I'm making a box so I won't forget you, with our memories like sand from the beach where we played, and left footprints as we ran from crashing waves. I want to go everywhere we've been, everywhere you've been, everywhere we wanted to go. I go to places to help me think of you. I look around and I remember. It makes me smile. And then I find the perfect thing for my memory box. Some days are good, and I laugh and I smile. And other days, I wonder if I'll ever stop feeling sad. You're gone. But I'll always think of you. So many things remind me of you. Today, I'm asking everyone about their favorite memories about you. Some are so silly and some are sweet. Some are just so you. I'm listening to every word, imagining you laughing with us. It helps me when I think about our special times, and it helps me still do the things we plan to do together. You're still with me in my heart. And now I'm making new memories. My first time on a roller coaster, or trying a new sport, or exploring a new place. I'll always share these memories with you. I was afraid I'd forget you, but I won't. You'll always be with me, no matter where I go. Whenever I miss you, I'll think of you, and I'll never forget. Thank you for listening to my story today. I want to invite all my friends who will be attending religious education class to follow me into the lobby for preschool to 8th grade. Thank you.
You're all looking this way, but I get to look that way, and it's just a joy to see the kids kind of gather in the lobby there and ready to go to have some fun. So, yeah. Today's reading consists of two brief accounts I'm calling Hereafter Hints, both abridged by me. The first comes from a book called Final Gifts, Understanding the Special Awareness, Needs, and Communications of the Dying. It was written by longtime hospice nurses Maggie Callanan and Patricia Kelly, who during the course of their work gathered many such stories of experiences their patients had as they approached death. Account number 1. Asked about her religious affiliation, Lynn, an economist, said, "I don't have any religion. I've never believed in God or anything like that. I'm just not interested." But 7 weeks before her death, she told me, "I had a dream, but it wasn't really a dream. I was in such a lovely place." She wouldn't or couldn't go on, except to say she'd seen where she was going. She seemed comforted by what she had seen and often wore a dreamy half smile and a distant look in her eyes. We encouraged her daughter, Sandra, to talk more with her mother about the dream that wasn't a dream. She knows she's dying, but now she seems to know that she will somehow continue to exist afterward, Sandra reported. My mother always maintained that people simply cease to exist after death, but now she says there's a place you go. I find myself wondering if she's right. The second account comes from a different book, a memoir of life in the LA rock scene and music business by a woman named Vicki Hamilton. One sunny morning, she and 2 friends, Jennifer and T, decide to drive from Hollywood to Malibu for a beach day. They take a twisting road through beautiful Topanga Canyon. Suddenly, as Vicki tells it, an old white pickup truck swerved directly in our path. Jennifer slammed her brakes and laid into the horn to no avail. The truck careened into us head on. I remember seeing Jennifer's head as it slammed into the windshield, smashing the glass. Then everything went black. I felt myself leave my body. I was weightless, and somehow I was viewing the whole scene from above the car. I thought I must have died. How was this sensation possible? Jennifer's forehead was bleeding, and I could see my own body slumped over against the dashboard, while Jennifer was beating on my back in a panic, screaming, "You can't die! Don't die!" over and over. T was in the back seat, holding her arm, shouting, "I think my arm is broken." As my soul hovered above the car, I recalled seeing a white light in the distance, as it looked very appealing. The glow was warm and seemed to be beckoning me to come towards it. I was asking myself, should I stay or should I go towards the light? All of a sudden, I felt like I was moving at a rapid pace and everything went black again. Seconds later, I am back in my body. The next thing I heard was the ambulance siren as it was driving us to the hospital. I felt the pain in my lower legs and see that I have 2 grapefruit-sized lumps on my legs where they hit the dashboard. Jennifer had a big gash in her head and T had a broken arm. Luckily, we were all alive, but Jennifer's car was totaled. This incident changed my life forever. I know I died for a few minutes in this terrible crash, and I know with absolute certainty that my body and soul are 2 separate entities. The soul goes on. Where it goes, I'm not sure. I hope it's to heaven, but I know it's somewhere good. From that day forth, I have never feared dying. Along with holding all that we have heard with compassion and care today, we honor the loved ones, human and otherwise, who have passed from our lives. Some are represented on our remembrance table, others those online have with you, and many more we hold in our hearts. In their honor, after each short phrase of the litany of remembrance I'll now speak, please respond aloud with the words, "We remember them." In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, in the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, in the beginning of the year and when it ends. when we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, when we have joys we yearn to share. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they now are a part of us as we remember them. I now invite us to take just another few moments to further remember in silence. We now further honor our loved ones and all that was shared today by lifting these up in prayerful song. Please rise in body or in spirit and sing number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. The lyrics are on screen and in the online order of service. Thank you. Thank you. Many of you know that Unitarian Universalism is a non-creedal spiritual tradition, or what's called a free faith. This means it doesn't insist that everyone profess a certain set of fixed beliefs. Instead, we come together to explore, wonder, consider, discover, and deepen. In the spirit of free inquiry, I'm enormously grateful that one of UUism's professed sources of guidance is, quote, humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. I love that. Not least because this secular humanism is a vital corrective to the idolatrous dogma and make-believe common in conventional religions. Yet, because UUism was understandably eager to distance itself from such delusions, when it thankfully threw out the bathwater of religious fantasies and superstition, like modern rationalism in general, it also largely threw out the baby of our spiritual essence, the human soul. We've begun to reclaim it some, which to me is vital, for as I'll likely expand on some other day, in my view, the wholesale modernist rejection of this essence has had profoundly detrimental consequences on many levels. But for today, in considering one of the perennial spiritual questions, what happens to human beings after physical death, I will purposely challenge the satirical portrait of UUs at their funerals as being all dressed up with no place to go. Because after years of exploration and deliberation, I have come to trust firmly in the reality of the human soul and its continuity after death. Not through theological conjecture or philosophical argument, but through countless experience-based stories. Many of these, like the two we heard previously and others to come, expressed by folks with no religious or spiritual beliefs who experienced or witnessed happenings that point strongly toward an afterlife. Being open to these stories means allowing for aspects of life that transcend the strictly rational and material and empirical. That is, placing the rational mind within a broader trans-rational sphere of awareness. And science itself doesn't preclude such a sphere. For instance, most cosmologists now believe the known universe is about 5% normal matter, the stuff we can sense directly, with the rest being made up of unseen dark matter and dark energy. Thus, I suggest it serves our intellectual and spiritual expansion to remain open-minded about the nature of ultimate reality. And before we dive in further, a quick aside. Sometimes when I share something, like among these stories, I find myself tearing up a little bit. Having reflected on why, I feel it's because some deep truth is being conveyed and the tuning fork of my heart and soul resonates with it. Now, I could be wrong. It could just be that I'm resonating with something that I wish were true, but I don't think so. I say this now because one of the stories in particular, part of it tends to hit me this way. So whether then or another day, if it happens, please know I'm okay. I'm just moved, and I will continue eventually. So up to now, we've heard two Afterlife Intimation stories, one from the book Final Gifts, Understanding the Special Awareness Needs and Communications of the Dying. A few years ago, after a lifelong friend's older brother, who I also knew, died suddenly, I emailed that and two other Final Gift stories to my bereaved pal. He didn't respond, and that was fine. I knew that he and his whole family were stricken and shaken by the unexpected death and caught up with all the emotional and practical demands of responding to the situation. I also knew that while he and I met as kids at a Lutheran church in Minneapolis, as an adult, he had never had any interest in spiritual matters. About 10 months pass, during which time his elderly father's health is declining. I had known his dad forever, and every few weeks my friend and I talk about dealing with his decline. Then one day I get a different kind of phone call from my buddy, and I later ask if he could write down the essence of the experience he shared with me. He was happy to. These are his words. I went to see my father, and the hospice nurse was there. She told me that my dad was comfortable, but was seeing people on the other side. He may not have much time left. I asked what she meant by people on the other side, and she said he is calling out people's names, but she couldn't clearly understand who he was calling to. I told her, in a smart alecky tone, that when you know someone who has been to the other side and saw people from their past and lived to tell you about it, you let me know. I was a non-believer of the other side. So I walked to the bed and looked at Dad, and with his eyes closed, he asked, "How many people are here?" I looked at him and said, "There are only 3 of us here." He said, "There are so many people here. How did you all get here? I haven't seen you in such a long time." A huge smile came across his face, and he had not smiled in such a long time. It blew me away. He repeats, "How did you get here?" I'm freaking out because he was not talking to me. I started to cry and told the hospice nurse I was sorry for breaking down, and she said, "It's okay. I told you he was seeing people on the other side." I think there is something to the progression of death, and the hospice people have seen it many times before. I guess I had to see it for myself to come to grips with the fact that there really could be another side. Wow, what an experience. When I told my brother what happened, he said that he wished that he could have been there to witness it. I'll reiterate, wow, what an experience. Of course, it's possible to argue, and many do, that the blissful visions experienced by dying people like Lynn in our reading and my friend's father are just hallucinations produced as their brains shut down. But such visions don't only come to dying persons, but also to those very much alive and of sound mind. For instance, another acquaintance of mine, a spiritual yet also scientific one, he's an airline pilot, was awakened in the middle of the night by his father standing at the foot of his bed. At that moment, his phone rang, and it was his sister, 1,000 miles away, who said she was looking at their father standing at the foot of her bed. The apparition faded. They both finally fell back to sleep. And in the morning, neither was surprised to learn that their elderly dad had died at exactly the time he appeared to them. We might repeat, wow, what an experience. Something we could also apply to another account, this from a member of a different UU congregation I served. I got permission to share what she wrote to me, but have withheld some details for privacy. Here are her words, slightly abridged. When I was about 25, one of my best friends was murdered. She was the naturalist at a national park in California, whose attacker had previously killed 3 other women. She fought so hard that she had his DNA under her fingernail so he could be identified, which solved the other murders. Her loss was very shocking and horrific for me, as it was for everyone who loved her. I was in a lot of pain, and it was particularly terrible to think of what she went through in the moments before her death. I believe it was a week or so after her death that I was asleep one night and woke up to feel I had had a visitation. She had put her hand on my shoulder, and I was just so thankful to have contact with this person I thought I'd lost forever, and wanted to share my sympathies with her for what she'd been through. I didn't hear any words from her, but she communicated that she was in a hurry. She was going back and forth from her mother, who was on the coast, and her fiancé, who was up in the Sierra. I was in Davis, and she saw how much pain I was in, so she wanted to come by quickly to comfort me. She wasn't in pain and had no personal upset from what she had gone through. She was desperate to get to her fiancé, who was tearing his heart out, but aside from trying to ease the suffering of those of us who loved her, she wasn't suffering herself. She could see through us the rage and the trauma, but she wasn't feeling any of it. She was calm and loving and whole. I hadn't believed in angels before this or had any specific idea of what happened to a person's soul after death, or even if they had one. This visit from her was very calming for me. It was still torturous to think of what she'd gone through, and so saddening that she didn't get to live the full life that she deserved. But I now felt that I knew she at least wasn't reliving the pain. She wasn't hurting. Her soul wasn't wounded and whimpering, sad to have lost its days on earth. Her soul was full of strength and peace and love, and also of compassion for those she'd left behind. She left, and that's when I woke up, and the feeling of her hand having just been on my shoulder was still there. It is strange to write this story down, she concludes, but maybe it will help somebody else find comfort if they are grieving someone who has died in a physically painful way. Again, wow, what an experience. And if you are grieving a loss, and especially if you lost a loved one in a particularly distressing way, please know that the peaceful, loving soul this person reported encountering is the state of your loved one too, as it will be for all of us. Because all these stories support universalist theology, the claim that despite even severe earthly mistakes, all souls are ultimately reconciled with the divine. Everyone reaches the light. No report I have ever encountered tells of a person's spirit warning their loved ones about eternal hell and damnation, nor saying they'd better take Jesus as their Lord and Savior or else suffer that fate. Yet the trust that one's spiritual essence continues after physical death and the ultimate assurance of peace for all souls is not to suggest we should mourn our lost loved ones any less. Grieving is a crucial process that helps the human psyche adjust to the sting of death. Still, is it possible that this assurance can ease that sting a bit and also allow us to view our own mortality with less trepidation? One of history's great mystical poets, Rumi, responds with a resounding yes. When you see my procession, don't cry, gone, gone. For me, it is a time of meeting and reunion. As you lower me into the grave, don't say, so long. The grave is a veil before the gathering of paradise. When you see that lowering down, consider a rising. What harm is there in the setting of a sun or moon? What seems a setting to you is a dawning. Recall that complete trust in this dawning came upon Vicki Hamilton during her near-death experience in a car accident where she, quote, knew with absolute certainty that my body and soul are two separate entities. The soul goes on. Where it goes, I'm not certain, but I know it's somewhere good. And we can realize this without it being attached to any notion of God whatsoever, nor to formulaic characterizations of heaven. We can just understand that humans have a spiritual more at our core, that Rumi's time of meeting and reunion is real, and simply let the larger mystery be. In closing, here's another story from Final Gifts I sent my friend after his brother died that affirms this sacred reunion of our souls. Peggy, a young woman dying of lymphoma that had advanced to the point where she was very weak, slept most of the time and was sometimes slightly confused. But when our colleague arrived for a routine visit, Peggy called out in a strong, clear voice, "Come on up, I'm upstairs," she said. She looked bright, radiant, and was unusually animated. "Let me tell you what happened to me," Peggy said. "I was lying here in bed yesterday, sort of drifting in and out of sleep, and remembering back to a happy time in my childhood. My brother and I were taken in by my aunt during a time that my parents were having financial difficulty. I really loved my aunt. She was so loving to both of us, and it was just a very happy time for me. I still love her a lot. Well, I woke up with a start when I felt a warm, caring hand on my shoulder. I looked behind me, and there was my aunt smiling at me as she touched me. It made me feel so good and safe." "Where is your aunt?" the nurse asked. "She lives in Massachusetts," Peggy said. "I haven't seen her in such a long time because she's sick, but I felt her with me off and on all day. It made me feel so good. Then last night, my uncle called to say she died yesterday, at the same time I was first aware of her being with me. Then today I woke up and she was touching me again." "What a nice experience," the nurse said. "I can see how good it's made you feel. What do you think it means?" "That she'll be there for me when I die," Peggy replied with a luminous smile, "and that we will be together again. Namaste, and blessed be." As part of Unitarian Universalism's free church tradition, this congregation is self-supporting, and thus we remain free to govern ourselves. In addition to their annual sustaining contributions, each week our members and friends may choose to give an additional gift as witness that we are and shall remain of free faith. You can use cash or check, or the QR code or text info in the order of service. Please give generously. lovely. Thank you. We are grateful for the gifts offered today and for all the gifts and blessings in our lives. And if you're visiting with us today, that's a gift in itself. We extend an especially warm welcome to you, and I'd be honored to meet you when we finish, if you'd care to do that, for you are our special guest. Now please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing verses 1 through 3 of number 96 in our gray hymnal. The lyrics are also on screen and in the online order of service. Number 96, I Cannot Think of Them as Dead. Whether online or here in the main hall, we hope you'll stay after the service for conversation. We begin with greeting time, a chance to speak with someone you haven't met yet or you haven't seen in a while. And as always, thanks to everyone involved in making today's service possible, including our guest musicians, 4 shillings short. We extinguish our chalice today with words by May Sarton. I would like to believe that when I die, that I have given myself away, like a tree that sows seeds every spring and never counts the loss. Because it is not loss. It is adding to future life. It is the tree's way of being, strongly rooted, but spilling out its treasures on the wind.
Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever. And some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Sing along with the chorus. Everybody is wondering when and where they all came from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Let's do that one more time. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love and I live my life accordingly, but I just choose to let the mystery be. One more time. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
I just have to highlight one line from that song. But I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. And if that's all we do, that's all we need. Yes, thank you very much. Now, if you're online, please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and touch hands virtually. If you're in the main hall or on the patio, please stand and reach out to hold hands if you and your neighbors are comfortable with that. Or cross your hands over your heart to show that you're connected in spirit as we say our benediction together. Go out into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast to what is good. Return no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Rejoice in beauty. Speak love with word and deed. Honor all beings. Blessed be.